November 6th, 2:45 p.m. Across Spartanburg County, South Carolina, school bells ring and the cheerful screams of freedom-loving kids fill the air. But at the same time, in a bike shop on the outskirts of town, a very different kind of screaming. Scott Ponder, his mum Beverly, friend Brian Lucas and mechanic Chris Sherbert have all been shot dead where they worked.
This happened very quickly. Whoever the shooter wasn't really wasting any time. Some bullet holes, one or more, I'm not sure how many, were found inside the store, apart from on their bodies. But other than that, they were very targeted.
It's the most gruesome scene Spartanburg authorities have ever experienced, and for the families of the victims, infinitely worse.
When I got up there, there was probably every county car. You could actually see people laying in the parking lot. It felt like the world stopped. Everything was perfect, and then just at the snap of a finger, everything was gone.
But in the immediate aftermath of the murders, police get a promising tip. According to press reports, a witness saw a young man and woman walking away from the scene around the same time.
This girl and this guy, I know who they are.
One theory is that the girl could have distracted Scott and Brian out front while the man shot Chris and Beverly in the back. Though Crime Watch Daily has not been able to verify these claims, Lorraine Lucas says she has since been contacted by a local inmate who says he has information about the couple in question.
His family told us that they're both into drugs. His family is sure that they had something to do with it.
But why? If they were allegedly just two junkies looking for a score, the evidence in the shop didn't back it up.
There was a briefcase with money in it, with a deposit slip already made out. After the murders, it was still on the desk. They didn't take it.
Police have identified the couple, though officially they have only been treated as witnesses and have never been connected to the crime. But not long after their sketch was released, an even more promising lead comes in from the last person to see the victims alive.
The sheriff's office contacted one of the last customers who left the store that day.
He is saying he was at the shop. He saw a person who had on a leather coat. It was a rather warm day, and he was looking at a motorcycle that he acted like he'd never had any motorcycle experience.
According to the witness, that was only moments before the shooting. Investigators released this sketch to the public.
They don't know who that customer is, they don't know who that individual is, but whoever that was is believed to have been the shooter.
But could this really have been as simple as a customer gone mad? Could that really explain the execution-style slaughter of 4 innocent people? Or was there maybe a more personal connection? To establish a motive, investigators would have to take a deeper look into the victims' lives.
Initial investigations into Brian and Beverly's backgrounds seemed to turn up nothing.
She was the type of person that no matter how negative a person was, she could find the good in them. That's a special thing. I've never met anybody else like that.
They told me a couple times that, I think Brian just happened to be there at the wrong time, wrong place, that kind of thing.
And when authorities investigate Scott's inner circle, they are equally as stumped. He was well liked, his marriage to Melissa seemed solid. In fact, they were trying to start a family.
A few weeks before that, we'd found out our daughter-in-law was pregnant with a child, and my wife had always wanted, a grandchild. Scott was her only son, and she was just so belated.
But when it came to mechanic Chris Sherbert, one of the newest employees at Superbikes Motorsports, rumours of a possible drug connection began to swirl.
I don't want to talk negative about anybody that got murdered, but Chris was supposed to go to court the next Monday. From what I gathered, he was looking at a lot of time. And the people he was with, did they think that he was going to turn state's evidence and tell on them? Chris was the first one shot.
Authorities chased down that and multiple other leads while continuing to hunt for the man in their sketch. But after several months, the investigation stalls. Then, over a year after the murders, based on a hunch, detectives start looking into a new angle.
Strangely enough, Brian was looking at a home without any knowledge from his wife. He had looked at several different properties.
And then a break in the case that absolutely no one saw coming.
Melissa was newly pregnant, and after the baby was born, they did a DNA test on a diaper they took from there.
And what they found blew everyone away.
They actually told Melissa that Scott wasn't father of the baby. Brian was.
Coming up,
Me and Melissa sat down and talked, and I told her, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to be honest. Did you have anything to do with it?
was one of the most violent murders in South Carolina history the result of a love triangle gone wrong.
I never felt insecure with him. I was treated like a princess.